Hello and welcome back, my friends, to a brand new episode of Realm News, your podcast for all things Minecraft. For those who do not know who I am, well, I am your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. This is where I provide real-world examples of Minecraft. We discuss all sorts of topics on Realm News. We've discussed creepypasta stories such as Herobrine and Mothman. We have talked about a few Roman/Greek gods and goddesses from their respective pantheons. We have discussed the major technological ages such as stone, copper, and iron. And many other subjects have been brought up on this show. We get major guests such as Christopher Zetterstrand, Mindblock Team, and many others. Well, today's episode will not be so illustrious. In fact, as I mentioned last week on Realm News Flash, this will be a somewhat short episode. So for today's mini episode, I am going to present to you the carrot. Yes, the Overworld carrot, the Minecraft carrot. I will compare the Overworld carrot with the real world carrot and explain both of their histories and uses. This will come all after poll time. I hope that you are all ready for a vitamin A packed episode. Hide your rabbits and let's listen to poll time. Welcome to Poll Time, my friends. This is where we get to hear directly from the Minecraft community. I always love reading their thoughts over the questions that I ask. Today, we have a follow-up poll over a Realm News episode that I recently came out with titled Glowberry Galore. I asked this, quote, "My friends, in light of doing a bunch of research over glowberries last week, I must ask you all a simple question. Do you eat glowberries when you play Minecraft?" My answer is that I have never ate one. I have used them as decor several times in different villages throughout my realm, but I have never used them as nourishment. Tell me how you use them, end quote. It's true. I only have a few glowberries that are dangling in the center of a town that I named Lamplight in the Thenia province within my world. Lamplight was my first town that I poured a lot of wealth into, meaning that I decorated it out with glazed terracotta, polished granite, and diorite houses with the finest stained glass and other minerals from the province. I built a library there with cherry tree blossoms surrounding it. It just looks beautiful. In the middle of one section of the town, I put a diorite fence in midair, just floating up there. You know how blocks can float, some of them or most of them? Well, I put a diorite fence up there, and I don't know, about 5 blocks up in there, maybe 6, about 3 blocks wide. I then attached 3 glowberry strands to the bottom of it, and I let them grow out. And they just look beautiful, how they glow amongst all the other colors that compose the village. I also remember that for a long time, I had glowberries in my largest map room that is underground in a town called Silhouette City. I placed several strands of glowberries on the ceiling in that room, about 2 or 3 blocks away from the map. I eventually got rid of them because every time I would walk by to view the map, my character would accidentally grab a vine and try to climb it, and it would result in fall damage sometimes. Honestly, I just like them for their ambiance. I also have a couple of palaces now, and I will surely utilize glowberries to decorate those areas. I would like to now move on to the poll results. I will start with the loser of the poll and work my way towards the winner of the group with the most votes. In total, we received 81 votes. That's a heck of a turnout. We haven't had one like that for a while. It really pleases me to see people turn out and vote. If you would like to participate in these polls, then you can find Realm News' Reddit at bio.link/realmnews. I post a new poll weekly. The loser of this week's poll is coming in with a small share of votes, with only 4 votes. This is the group that uses glowberries for makeshift ladders. Yes, 4 people out there use them for that purpose, and why not? in my map room that I told you all about earlier, I would climb the glowberry vines to go up to view a certain region in the map up closer. It would just be very convenient to go up and down. And they do make for a pretty good ladder, and a very decorative one at that. If I may quote my own Realm News episode titled Glowberry Galore, quote, glowberries in Minecraft can grow to a maximum length of 25 blocks or until they reach the bottom of the cave or another surface underneath them. Each new section of vine that grows has only an 11% chance of producing glowberries, end quote. So you can see why they can make for an ideal makeshift ladder, as long as you are trying to climb up or down 25 blocks. I'm happy to see people using glowberries in creative ways. The group that came in second place out of the 4 is the Yes, I Eat Them group with 15 votes. That is not a bad amount of votes if you ask me. Which, if you heard the Glowberry Galore episode, then you would know that I have not ate them. And I still have not ate them in the making of this episode. I am sure that I will get around to it someday. Currently, I'm in the middle of building a second palace, and so I'm a wee bit occupied. The next group with 26 votes coming in second place is the I don't use glowberries at all group. I assume these are people who have yet to find a lush cave biome. That is just my opinion on the matter, unless they are simply not interested in them, which is a possibility. Or perhaps it's a combination between the two or something different altogether for the reasoning for not wanting to use glowberries. I am sticking with the statement that people haven't found them yet. Maybe they have them in a chest and waiting to use them for something. I don't know. Who knows? Moving on to this week's winner of poll time. With 36 votes, beating second place by 10 votes is the I use them as decor group. And that's what I voted for. Yay! It is exciting to see so many people say that they use them for decor. I wonder how people decorate with them. Obviously, people hang them up, but I imagine that they also put the berries in item frames for display. Too bad we can't combine item frames with glowberries in order to make glowing item frames like you can with glowing squid ink sacs. I'm sure people use them in some amazing ways. Now, I would like to read off a comment in relation to today's poll. This one comes from a person who goes by trainlord_TF, who says, quote, mostly just because I use them as an emergency light source for mob spawners. But right now, I tried to collect a shulker full of glowberries. Currently at a chest full of shulkers filled with chest minecarts and half a chest of glowberries, end quote. Wow. That is a heck of a project that you are undertaking, my friend. I believe from what I calculated, that would be over 800 glowberries that you have. That's a lot of glowberries that you have so far. My gosh. I would imagine that you wouldn't need more for an emergency light source, but hey, it's always good to be prepared. I asked them if they had a glowberry farm in their world that is creating so many glowberries. They responded back with this, quote, no, I just completely raid every mine shaft I come across, plus a little bit of lush caves when farming small drip leaf, and take everything except the seeds. No real farm, end quote. That is an intense amount of raiding mine shafts and finding lush caves. Great work. That would take me a long time to find as many glowberries as you have acquired. Thank you very much for your comments, trainlord_TF. I look forward to receiving more from you in the future. And the people have spoken. People have said that they use the glowberry for decorative purposes. Actually, 44.44% of the people said that, which is an overwhelming amount of votes for this 4-choice poll. However, you use glowberries, whether that be to climb them, eat them, or decorate them. I hope you have fun doing so, and I hope you find many of them. Now, it is time to move on to the real segment of the show where I relate the real world with the game of Minecraft. Welcome to The Real. You are probably familiar with it. We live in it every day. Today, we will be learning a little bit of biology, history, and a couple carrot recipes. Of course, the carrot has an illustrious history with we humans, as you can imagine. So, I shall do my best to tell you about the carrot in all its glory, or the best that I can in a short amount of time. Shall we start with, what is a carrot? Is it a vegetable, a fruit? What the heck is it? Grainducahote.ch has a great article that delivers a beautiful summary over the carrot. For those of you who thought that the carrot was a fruit, well, I hate to tell you that you were wrong. The carrot is indeed a vegetable. It is part of the Umbelliferae family because it produces flowers that are shaped somewhat like umbrellas. These plants are considered to be something called biennial plants, meaning that it takes 2 years for those umbrella-looking flowers to come into fruition. The article goes on to say that the first year of the carrot's life is devoted to building up its energy reserves within its roots. You plant them in spring and they grow through the summer. By the time winter comes, it uses the energy to produce seeds. I must say that these seeds look extremely bizarre. I viewed a photo and at first glance I thought it was a photo of a germ zoomed in by a microscope. It just looks so alien. They have little barbs all over that serve the purpose of clinging to a host for transportation in order to spread itself. These clinging barbs are great for hitching a ride on animal hair. A fact that I found interesting is that the carrot is also pollinated by a specific fly called a hoverfly, which I had to look this up and see what a hoverfly is exactly. And we have these everywhere in Kansas during the spring and summer, as it turns out. Though, we have a different name for them here. We colloquially call them sweat bees. Perhaps it is a wives' tale, but supposedly they are attracted to your summer sweat. Or that's what I was told as a child growing up. The article mentions that these are also called false wasps, which makes sense. I enjoy the term sweat bee more, probably because that is what I am accustomed to, even if false wasp is a more apt name for this bug. An awesome fact that I learned that is each carrot contains approximately 1,000 seeds. I would like to go on to say that the carrot has been around for a long, long time. According to foodliteracycenter.org, scientists have discovered ancestor pollen related to the carrot dated to the Eocene period, which took place around 55 to 34 million years ago. This pollen belongs to the Apiaceae family, which is part of the carrot family. Another date, one that is closer in time to us, is that the people of Afghanistan were growing purple-colored carrots 5,000 years ago, and the Egyptians carved into temples etches of purple carrots dated back to 2000 BCE. Artsandculture.google.com says that during the age of the Middle and New Kingdoms in Egypt, an influx in trade of exotic goods in the form of new foods and many other things took place. Some of these new edibles were, quote, beef, goat, sheep, and pig meat, boiled, grilled, or roasted, fish, which was usually cooked or salted, geese, ducks, pigeons, and quails, grilled or stuffed, honey and fat, drinks, barley, beer, and wine according to status. Fruits included date palm, dom palm, argan palm, pomegranates, watermelon, sycamore figs, balanos, Christ's thorn, carob, and black grapes. Vegetables included cucumber, onions, safflower, carrot, and beetroot, end quote. A grand cultural exchange was going on during this time period, and carrots were part of it. But did you realize that carrots were not traditionally orange? No, this is from a mutation that more than likely occurred in a few carrot plants and were then selected for their color by the Dutch and multiplied. In fact, foodliteracycenter.org says that the 17th century Dutch selectively bred these orange carrots in honor of William of Orange, who led the independence of their country from Spain. But it also says that Dutch growers probably selected the orange version of the carrot because it is the sweetest tasting out of all the carrots, much more so than its yellow counterparts. Now, let's talk about a wee bit about its nutritional value. Carrots, as you are probably aware of, are indeed healthy to eat. The carrot is packed full of beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A in the body. Antioxidants, vitamin K and C, fiber, potassium, and many other important vitamins and minerals to help sustain a healthy lifestyle are in carrots. And as you all know, the carrot has been used in cuisine for many different dishes across the world. I dug up a couple of medieval carrot recipes to tell you about. Many people do not realize that many meals back in medieval times were primarily vegetable-oriented or completely vegan. It wasn't because people didn't enjoy meat back then. It was simply an economic issue. Meat was simply unaffordable, so people made do with vegetables. I would like to tell you about a 13th century Arabic carrot dish. In my opinion, the photos of this, which you can find on my Patreon at Realm News, is it Patreon, which you'll find at the description of this show, a link there. These photos of the recreated dish are very unappetizing to me. It doesn't look good. It may not look appetizing to me, but it is extremely cool that we know how to recreate this. I probably wouldn't eat it myself, but I do find it interesting that we're able to make it still. Go check it out. It's an article written by Sherman Arif titled Delicious Dinars, a recipe for a carrot salad from medieval times. It is essentially a dish consisting of carrots that were softened by being boiled in a briny water. The carrots are then cut into circles about 3/8 of an inch thick. The carrots act as the lettuce in a traditional salad. After being boiled and placed in a bowl or dish, they are then topped with a creamy sesame paste that also contains walnut, honey, wine vinegar, and other various herbs. This creamy paste is called tahin. The dish looks unappetizing to me visually because of this paste or tahin in the photo. That doesn't mean that it doesn't taste good, though. The author, who claims to not like cooked carrots, says that they really like this meal. So that tells me that it is probably better than how it looks. They claim that it can be eaten when it is warm or right after, just eating it right after it's cooked because it'll still be somewhat warm from the boiling and whatnot. Or you can eat it cold. I mean, it is a salad, so it makes sense to eat it cold. Supposedly, it is best served with flatbread or with a bowl of rice as a couple examples there. I also saw it could be served with many things, I suppose, honestly. Those just sound like the most common ways to serve it. I could see the tahin being used to spread on flatbread the most. That's probably what I would pick. This is probably a dish that I won't replicate, but please let me know if you do. I would like to hear how you like it. I have one other medieval dish that I would like to tell you about. It is a very simple recipe. I found a blog titled Carrots in Lemon and Theme. I'm guessing they were trying to spell time, but it came out as theme, by a person named Sidsel. It takes a few ingredients, not many at all. This is very, very basic. And let me list it off, and then let me list off the basic recipe. It just takes carrots, lemon peel and juice, a handful of thyme, fresh thyme they call for, and just a little bit of water. And I'm going to paraphrase the recipe here, but clean the carrots, cut them into similar sizes, peel and juice the lemon, place carrots in a pot, pour lemon juice over them, add water if needed, add lemon peel, cook under a lid, and then test for doneness. Drain, place in a dish, and sprinkle with thyme, with thyme, and bam, you have a medieval side dish great for all occasions. Take it to your next get-together or potluck. See what the people in the neighborhood say. I hope you all enjoyed learning about those medieval carrot recipes. You can find them at patreon.com/realmnews. I listed both of them right there. They're open to the public. You don't have to pay for anything to see those. Just go check them out. I would like to close out the real segment and move us now into the realm where we will break down the Overworld carrot. Bienvenue mes amis au royaume. I have brought you all here today so we can examine the overworld carrot. Let's start with its beginnings. The carrot has been around the overworld for quite some time now, 13 years to be precise. To be exact, it was released on August 23rd, 2012 in Snapshot 12W34A. This was an evolutionary phase for the carrot, or, well, its initial phase into the world, but it would be its beginning point to a long phase of evolution. It would go through many changes in its life. During the snapshot, the carrot was a rare item that was occasionally dropped by zombies on death. They could then be crafted into golden carrots. It appears that the golden carrot was put into the game at the same time as the carrot. It wasn't until August 28th, 2012, or 5 days after the carrot made its initial debut, that software engineer who goes by Dinnerbone posted on Twitter, now X, this message. Quote, I told people that I'd think about carrots on a stick for controlling mounted pigs, but now I can't decide, carrots or wheat. Inconsistent, end quote. Obviously, they ultimately decided on using a carrot on a stick to control the mounted pig. Not only are carrots used to ride and control pigs for travel, but they are used to breed pigs as well, along with breeding rabbits. On September 6, 2012, in Snapshot 12W36A, the carrot could finally be found in villages, and in Snapshot 14W04A, they made it so the farmer could harvest carrots. That is a very brief history of the carrot that I found to be intriguing. There is much more history that I could elaborate on, such as changes in texture, but I will leave it there. I would like to now move on to where you can find and grow carrots. First off, you are able to grow carrots on farmland. That is when you use a hoe to till a dirt block in order to render it into farmable land. Once a block is farmable, you can plant a carrot in the dirt block. The carrot plant will then undergo 8 stages of growth before it's ready to be harvested. Carrots grow faster if they are planted in hydrated farmland, meaning that it's near a water source, that soil. And I can't quite remember how far out that can be. I think it could be up to 4 blocks away, 4 dirt blocks out from that water source, and able to hydrate that block. So double check me on that. Not sure. Haven't done a farmland episode yet. Bone meal can also increase the growth of carrots like it does with other crops. In Bedrock, the carrot doesn't require a specific light level, but on Java, it will need at least a light level of 8 or greater. You can harvest carrots with any tool or even with your bare hands. When you do so, it will yield around 2 to 5 carrots every time you break the plant. As you can see, this can add up to a lot of carrots if you have a decently sized carrot field. Besides using carrots to control saddled pigs for transportation, they are obviously a great food source. Each carrot will provide you with 3 hunger points and 3.6 saturation points, which is not bad. You can increase this by using the carrot with a baked potato, a mushroom, cooked rabbit, and a wooden bowl. Add these all together at a crafting table, and this will make a bowl of rabbit stew, which yields 10 health points. You can also upgrade the carrot to a golden carrot. This is a very expensive way to do so, and I've never done this because it's expensive, but to make a golden carrot, you'll have to combine 1 carrot with 8 gold nuggets. Not as expensive as a golden apple, but still, I find that to be very expensive for a vegetable. The advantage and reason for doing this is because the golden carrot is used as a brewing ingredient for making the potion of night vision, which would be handy. It also can be eaten on its own and will restore 6 health points and provide 14.4 saturation points. Golden carrots are also used to breed, lead, and grow a variety of mobs such as horses, donkeys, rabbits, and mules. If you don't want to craft your own golden carrots, then you have a 50% chance of purchasing one from a master level farmer on Bedrock. If you don't want to spend any emeralds, then you can go find them in a variety of places. Golden carrots can be found in Ancient City Icebox chests, Bastion Remnant Hogland Stable chests, Generic chests, Ruined Portal chests, Trial Chambers, and Vaults. Now back to regular carrots. If you don't feel like growing carrots, you can buy these from novice farmers. In Bedrock, there is a 25% chance of a farmer selling these, or you can find them in a couple of other places. Pillager outposts have a 57.5% chance of being found in a chest or 42% chance of being found in a supply chest in a shipwreck. However, those are not the only places that you can find carrots as loot. You also have a chance of locating plots of farmland and villages that are growing carrots. Plain biome villages have a 30% chance of growing carrots, and snowy biome villages have a 10% chance of having carrot crops. Also, if you remember that I mentioned from earlier that zombies have a rare chance of dropping carrots as loot when they were first introduced into the overworld, then this will not be too much of a shock to say that husks, zombie villagers, and regular run-of-the-mill overworld zombies still have a chance of dropping a carrot. In fact, they all have a 2.5% chance of dropping an iron ingot, a potato, or a carrot when killed. I thought that was very fascinating to learn all that. One last thing that I should mention before concluding this week's episode of Realm News. The carrot, like many organic foods and plants in Minecraft, it is compostable. Carrots have a 65% chance of raising the composter by 1 level for every carrot added to it. That's just a great statistic all around. I had no clue about that until doing the research, and I will be using carrots for composting from here on out. Even if I don't compost often, that is what I'll use when I do. That's all I have for the Minecraft carrot, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this week's short episode. The carrot is a vegetable that is perhaps not on the forefront of the everyday player's mind. This is understandable. I rarely use carrots myself. Actually, I never use carrots. But perhaps I shall start, now that I have more knowledge about them. I would still like to put a carrot on a stick and ride a saddled pig just for the sake of it. I still need to craft a golden carrot to say that I did. There are many things that the Dark Lord needs to do with the Minecraft carrot. I will get around to it. As far as the real world carrot goes, I love them. And I thought it was interesting to learn biennial plants require 2 years to flower, and that carrots have a long history, with purple carrots being cultivated in Afghanistan 5,000 years ago, and orange carrots selectively bred in the 17th century. I mean, just how cool is that? I love history, as you all know, so that was just amazing to learn. I hope you all enjoyed those facts as much as I did. With that said, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day and happy crafting. Until next time, the Dark Lord signing out. Hey Realm News fans, it's your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in realm and expands your mind one block at a time. I'm here to tell you all that your support means everything. Spread the word by telling friends, liking, and commenting on Spotify or Good Pods. Find me on X, Blue Sky, Reddit, or via email at bio.link/realmnews. For more content, join my Patreon at the Copper, Diamond, or VIP tier for early episodes, bonus content, newsletters, and ebooks. Find out more at bio.link/realmnews. No pressure, though. Just keep listening, liking, and sharing. That's more than enough. Happy crafting, and see you at the next Realm News.